This is a report snapshot from Leads360 where you can actually, if you see the highlighted menu, you can see they can isolate a campaign or they can actually look at all their lead sources into one place. So again, we encourage folks to use it because they can have all their leads go into one-stop shop. And our program can be tracked separately, or it can be looked at in the aggregate as a sales associate is looking at the leads that are in their queue, or the manager that's looking at the leads in their queue. And again, we're big fans of having leads all go into one-stop shop, and to even take that a step further, our folks are working on a program where we can actually have our lookup tool that I mentioned in the beginning of the slide here actually built directly into Leads360 software. We were the first hot transfer company to work with Leads360 and the first to integrate with them, and we continue to develop and be innovative and stay ahead of the curve so our clients have the best, our mutual clients have the best working the lead as possible in real time and tracking it throughout the campaign history. Now lastly, how do we actually, like I said, how do we reimburse clients for using their software? Again, we're big advocates of it because we know that we can prove to you that you are getting a lot more value out of your leads using our service and their service combined. So we're going to take that money that proves to you that you're saving and increasing your return on investment. Actually, we'll cover your Leads360 expense. So the one golden rule that we have is that they have to take 10 transfers within 1 calendar month per user. So if you have 10 sales associates and you take 100 transfers within, and this is specifically mortgage folks, then we'll actually reimburse that user fee. So they have a small business edition that targets 3 to 12 users. That's $40 a user. So if your bill would be $400 a month at that rate, if you purchased 100 transfers from us and took them all within a month, we would cover that $400 bill. We can pay that directly to Leads360. We can give you additional transfers, whatever's easier for you. Leads360 can work with us in that capacity. And Ryan may be able to answer this more in the Q&A session, but the distinctions between the products. But their enterprise product is focused for the larger organizations. It starts at 12 users or more, and that's where the fee is $65. It can go down depending on how much volume you have in users that are in the platform. But again, that's where we can help you save a lot of money. If you have all you have to do is take 10 transfers per one user within 1 calendar month. So there's typically 22 business days in a month. That's 1 transfer every other day per user. No big deal. And we already have about a dozen clients that are taking advantage of this reimbursement deal, and we anticipate a lot after the webinar today. But at this point, I feel confident that we can go ahead and start the questions process, and I'm going to go ahead and change it back over to Mr. Brian Ochiltree, our moderator, to help facilitate those questions and be able to, whether it be Leads360 or DoublePositive, or if you want us both to do it, we'll be glad to address them.
Cool. Thanks, Joey. Okay, everybody, so if you have any questions, now's the time to throw them into the question section there, and I'm going to read them off and answer the ones I can, get Joey and Ryan to answer them as well. So get started here. The first couple, so the first question is, this came up, Joey, when you were talking about the percentages of the process, and I'll try to take this one, but the question was, so we are getting confirmation of 15 to 30% of the original leads. So I think maybe he was confused by the numbers. But here's the numbers that Joey gave you. Basically, if you buy 100 leads, typically if you call these yourself with what we call fat finger dialing, meaning you're not using a dialer, you're just giving it to someone and they're dialing the numbers, doing the retries on their own. My guess is you're going to contact 45 to 50% at best of those leads, meaning the other 50% you never contact. With our sophistication, we contact 60 to 65%. So that's just making contact. The rest you'll never talk to, period. They may call you and buy something. You can email them, but you'll never talk to them. Then of that, let's say 50% to make the math easy, 50% of the people that you or we make contact with, only a percentage are interested. The others are not. They were tire kicking. It's not a good time, whatever. So we have found on average across all of our verticals, the good number with an aggregator lead, if we do it, is 20%. Education is a little higher, maybe 30%, but 20-25% is a good average. So if you send us 100 leads, we're going to touch them all. We're going to touch all 100 of them. We're probably only going to transfer 20 of those. The other 80, we're going to tell you exactly why we couldn't transfer them. So we give you full disposition data on every lead, meaning that these 12% were invalid phone numbers. You might want to go get a credit from your supplier. These were wrong numbers. These people were interested, but not till later. So we touch them all, send you the data, and then transfer the ones that we can. So that's the first question. The next question was on call centers. Are the calls placed in the U.S. or outside? Asked by Simon. Simon, we have only domestic call centers. We have 3 U.S.-based call centers. There's no offshore call centers, so it's all domestic call centers. And let's see. So, Ryan, this one's for you. Someone wanted to know if there's a demo site of your product.
Absolutely. You can go to our website at leads360.com and see a brief 2-minute demo. But what I suggest is you give us a call. You'll see the 800 number at the end of this presentation. You can talk to any one of our sales executives, and they can tailor a demo specifically for you, and we're happy to do that.
Cool. Okay, so the next question is from Paul, and Paul, this is Joey, this is when you were talking about the reimbursement program where we will pay the Leads360 fee. He asked about debt leads, so I guess the question was, do we have any type of integration or reimbursement for debt transfers where we'll pay the Leads360 fee?
Yeah, and I apologize, folks. What I touched on in the reimbursement package, that is for our mortgage fully bundled offering. We do have the ability to do it in insurance and debt as well. However, since we don't have a fully bundled offering in either of those 2 verticals, it's a different type of reimbursement package. It is then based on the threshold of dollars that you spend with us to do dial attempts. So, Paul, I'll be glad to speak to you directly about that, or you can call in and speak to one of my sales associates. But again, it depends on your campaign, how many users you have, what program you want to do with Leads360, and again, how many leads you want us to dial on each day. So yes, there is a reimbursement package for insurance and debt dialing as well. But it's not as clear cut as what I can publish, like I said, for mortgage.
Perfect. So the next question, I'm going to read this whole thing because I think it is indicative of kind of the feeling of the industry. It's by Britt, and it's kind of a frustrated message. It says, you know, I am a life insurance agent. I've bought thousands of dollars worth of leads over the past 4 years. I think the internet lead sources are horrible and getting worse year to year. Why does this company think that they are any better? I have always bought exclusive leads, and many times when I call them, I'm the 8th caller for that day after calling within 3 minutes of receiving the lead. Frankly, I think the whole lead industry is failing and on its way out of the insurance industry. So I think that message right there indicates a lot of the feeling that I feel out there in the insurance sector. However, I can tell you that there is huge impact for what we do in the insurance sector. The leads business is there to stay for now. Lead quality certainly is suffering. And I think suppliers may be abusing the shared model a bit. They do that because the economics are so thin in insurance, which is not the case in mortgage or education, but that means their cost to generate an auto insurance lead is the same as an EDU lead, but they can only sell it for $5 versus $50. So they're required to share that lead to make the economics worth. However, that's even more the reason to consider a package like DoublePositives or any hot transfer, because look, if you're buying a shared lead, you got to be the first on the phone with that consumer. It's that simple. And there's no one quicker than us if we get that lead when you're open to take transfers. There's no one quicker than us. Now, granted, it doesn't mean the lead isn't a shady lead if the supplier is using a warped affiliate of some kind. But if you look at the cost of your other marketing efforts and what does it truly cost you in lead or marketing dollars and time to get a consumer on the phone to hear your sales pitch that's qualified, there's nothing close to leads, in my opinion, if you do the math. And it has become our biggest vertical by far in transfers per day. So really a lot of the pain that you guys are feeling in the insurance sector is even more the reason to leverage a third-party resource like DoublePositive or Leads360 to improve the ROI, because it's tough. The economics are thin for everyone.